Hey, what's up? This is Isaac with Isaac Beefit Life and Beefit Tacoma. Today, I have a request from my friend Ashley, who I met at a nightclub, and she was wearing high heels, and then one time I went with her, and she injured her knee, and it's still injured. I was not dancing with her, so I'm not responsible for this at all. Ashley, first I gotta say, shame on you for dancing with that guy instead of me. And since we're friends, I guess I'm gonna help you rehab your knee. So, since I'm nice, the first thing we're gonna talk about is high heels are the devil. I don't know if you know really the history of high heels, but they're actually created so noble people could look down on peasants. And peasants were not allowed to buy shoes with the heel. So they come down to two things. They come down to fashion and being taller than everybody else. They are not good for your foot. There's something called the fall line, which is basic physics. If you fall forward, you should be able to catch yourself if someone pushes you. But if you take something as small as a deck of cards underneath your foot and try to fall, you will not be able to catch yourself because it alters your fall line. If you were born to have a higher heel, you would have had it. So ladies, if you're wearing high heels, I know they look gorgeous. I'm a man. I like it too. Wear flat shoes and just get shorter skirts because it's going to be a lot safer and your legs are still going to look just as good. Okay? So number one, when you talk about what a good shoe is, your feet are supposed to be on the floor. So you have what's called proprioception, which is your body's ability to feel, adapt, and change. So when we do balance work, is that I have bad balance? Well, balance is really a mix of two things. Neuromuscular efficiency, proprioception, okay, so that's your body's ability to feel and adjust. And the second thing is the strength. You can't balance here if you don't have strength in your hip. So, first thing you need to do if you have bad knees is not look at your knee and think about how's my knee working, is look at your foot and see, is my foot getting enough feeling onto the ground? If you're in a high heel, a very rigid, shiny high heel, I know there's John Legend's song, he talks about getting these beautiful high heels for this girl. Those Italian shoes probably have no ability to help you feel to the floor. So I'm wearing a New Balance Minimus. I'm not sponsored by New Balance. I make no money off this shoe. I just like to shop at Nordstrom. And I like this shoe, okay? So there's an accordion test. The accordion test is you squeeze the shoe like an accordion. If it crumples, it is a flexible shoe. So Nike Frees are a flexible shoe. Now let's talk about Vibram 5 Fingers. Those are very popular. A lot of my clients like those shoes. It's not like they're a bad shoe, but don't go running in them right away, okay? You will end up hating those shoes and taking them back. So what do you do if you have a shoe that is not as flexible and you're shopping for shoes? Take the shoe and crumple it. It will have a different roll in it. So you might roll one and it might go here. That's why you have to make sure you get the shoe that's the right size because your foot needs to be right where it crumples here, okay? So the softer the shoe, and notice the fabric of this shoe allows it to expand. When your foot hits the floor, it actually expands out. So the number one thing to do is first make sure that you do not have a heel if you have bad knees, because it also changes your pelvic position, okay? It's going to increase your fall line, you're probably going to get hurt sooner, and it's going to destroy your proprioception. So let's look at some barefoot drills. So the first one that I would do to strengthen your foot up is before we get fancy and start reaching is can you even just stabilize yourself? Put your feet right underneath your hips, toes touching, okay? You can go hands on your hips to start, hands on your head is going to be harder, and just lift one foot up and hold, okay? If you cannot do this, okay, then your foot is not strong. So close your eyes, can you still hold it? My eyes are closed, I can still hold. I mean, I've done this at seminars before. You'll notice the difference in one foot compared to the other. This is my weaker foot. If you watch my foot, you see it shifts in and out. And you have what's called pronation and supination. Pronate drops to the inside, supinate to the outside. Everyone's foot's a little different. What you're looking for is to build strength through the foot. And what you should be thinking about is spreading your weight in your foot between 25, 25, and 50. So what does that mean? Follow the foot underneath the big toe, 25% of your weight. Other side of the foot, 25% of the weight. Heels, about 50% of the weight. This is called tripod foot. Your foot's like a tripod. What is it supporting on from up? It's your knee and your shin. So control your foot, because if your foot's going out here, your knee is going out here. And if your foot's dropping in, your knee's cutting in. When we talk about wide hips are great, okay, if you're females. But why do females have so much knee problems? Is because if your hips are out here, your feet are in here. Now you have what's called Q angle, which is this line that drops in. So if my hip's here, I drive my knee in. And you can see my knee's not great either, okay? I have my hips here, my knee drives in. My family genetically, maybe you just picked the wrong parents, okay? In genetic world, you probably would not have survived. If we had to run everywhere, your knees would be gone first. You never would have been bred through it, but thanks to cars and running and motorcycles and trains that you did survive, so you can be grateful for that. But if your hips are wider and your knees drive in more, you put more damage into that knee, and eventually all this chopping goes in. So I believe it's like for every 2 or 3 women that tear an ACL, or excuse me, 2 or 3 men, there are 10 women that tear an ACL. So you're just at a much, much higher rate, and high heels is not helping. So can you get stability through your foot? Once you can hold this, right, then can you hold it with your eyes closed, and then can you start doing some reaching patterns? So can you boom, drop here, shift my weight out to the hip, right? I shifted across my body, but can I just stabilize my foot, okay? So you can start off with that. So there are many things that are going to help you with your knees. Can I say any one of these things is going to completely fix your problem? No. But it's just like fat loss. If you eat more vegetables, you eat more lean protein, these little things will add up. So the second thing, once we have movement at the ankle, is do you have enough movement at your ankle? Okay? So I use these little drills. Usually we like to stay nice and tall. Ankle mobility drills are simple. Okay, you drive forward, you drive in, you drive out. These lateral lunge variations are great if you keep the heel on the floor, because now you're mobilizing this ankle while you're working on the dorsiflexion of this ankle. Okay? So those are great to work on. I did a video on a whole lunge sequence you can do for extra ankle mobility. If you have serious knee pain, which is like that much hurts, okay, and what you have to look at is, how can I train without aggravating my knee? And that's going to be what we call vertical tibia, which is keeping this shin straight. So if I squat like this, that knee comes forward, that's stress on the knee. But if I slide it back and keep this straight, now I'm loading a lot more to the hip, less to the knee. Okay? So vertical tibia is keeping this tibia straight. So let me show you the difference between a squat that is not vertical tibia and a squat that is vertical tibia. And if your knee is injured, you're going to have to shift more weight to your hips and your low back. So if you squat this way and your knees hurt, my knees don't hurt, but this probably hurts you if you've got bad knees. Watch me squat. See the difference? One, my pelvis kind of broke a little, my back rounded more, but where are my shins? They were a lot straighter. So an ideal training program is building up a lot of this posterior chain. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. One, start you off on box squats. Now as far as rep ranges and things like that, I'm not going to get into that. You can email me, Ashley. Hips back, boom, the tibia is vertical, pop through, right? Big difference. Now I'm going to sit back to my glutes and hamstrings. So what's a good way to warm up for these? Hip bridges, okay? I don't know, a lot of people laugh at hip bridges. I tell you, hip bridges, you do them from a ground up warm up, boom, pop up. What's happening? Vertical tibia, waking those glutes up. Single leg variations, okay? I like yoga tables because I stretch the pecs out, okay? Working a lot of glute and hamstrings. Hip bridges and whatnot are like doing curls for your butt and your hamstrings, okay? So if guys are going to do curls, I think guys and girls should both do hip bridges, okay? I would rather spend more time doing hip bridges than I would doing curls any day of the week, okay? So that's the first thing. Change your squat. Work on a box squat till you get strong enough. Vertical tibia, and then boom, you can do it without, okay? A lot of people fall over, they're not strong enough back here to do it. Second thing we can do is step-ups, okay? So there is one thing with step-ups. Sometimes people get pain on step-ups. They usually don't have pain because if I start here and come down, my muscles are supporting that joint, okay? If I do this, they're not pre-supporting, okay? So what you can do is just start at the top. Come down, control, tap, boom, fire through. But you see, pretty straight. What I'm not looking for is this. See the difference? Same with lunges. I'm sure the best version for lunges, if you really have bad knees, step back, big step, pull yourself down. I don't like to touch the knee to the floor because you rest the core, drive straight through. But see, where am I staying here? Straight tibia. Another thing I want to talk about, no jumping if you have bad knees, because most people that jump do this. Knees go in. And if you're wider hips, like a female, you're going to destroy those knees coming in. Not good lines. Okay? So kneecap, second toe. This is your tracking lines. That is correct. This is not. You see that? Ooh, yeah. Even the camera guy winces at that, okay? But I see people doing jump squats like this all the time, like it's okay. You're pinching through, you're driving in, it's terrible for your knees. So, take the jumping out, just work on the squat. Knees out. So I'll show you a quick little drill. I like squat to stay on one. Boom. Elbows on the inside, push knees out. A lot of times you'll see this, okay? Now get chest up, knees out, okay? So lunges, hip bridges, squats, deadlifts. You know, deadlift, I just did a blog post on deadlifts, okay? Try to keep the shin straight even if you have to pull off of something. Ankles between, hips back, chest up, pop. Where's my shin? Straight, pop, pop, all through the glutes and hamstrings, okay? Single leg deadlifts are the best variation. Push. Where's your shin? Straight, okay? Do single leg deadlifts, okay? Romanian deadlifts. Deadlift variations start at the top, hips back till you hit the knees, drive the hips back like you're reaching for a door, okay? Stay nice and flat, okay? So, those are a few ways you can incorporate training. If you are a runner, all the exercises I just showed you are what you must do, because you're going forward the whole time. You're building up all these muscles that land. That's phenomenal. But build up all the muscles back here because these decelerate you. Okay? These muscles are the engine. Okay? These muscles stop the engine from overheating and blowing through. So, last word of advice I'm going to say is make sure also that the hips aren't too stiff. Okay? So, one, I would do these leg swing variations. Okay? Make sure your hips aren't too stiff. Okay? Side to side leg swings. I like those too. Okay, do you have adequate hip movement? Everyone has a different amount of hip movement and hip mobility. Okay, depends on your hip sockets. But keep the shin straight, strengthen the foot, mobilize the ankle. Be very conscious of your knees in terms of where they're tracking, whether it's squats, lunges. Don't deadlift like this, okay? And do the hip bridges, strengthen the glutes specifically, strengthen the glutes on the outside too. But there is a big difference between if you go here and walk with the band and push your knees out, that your glutes are pushing out, but when you lift the leg up, now they're a stabilizer. Yes, it works the glute medius, but it works differently. So, I mean, these are all things that come into it. I'll probably write a blog post to go with this video, but those are the basic essentials for good knee health. If you're a runner, you want to do the exact same thing. Build up the backside of your body to support it. Stop getting up on the heel lift. This is Isaac with BeFit Tacoma and Isaac BeFit Life. Thank you for watching.